Hi and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today we take a look at a Seiko 5 reference SNK-L15, which is a silver dialed variant of the model Hodinkee featured in their article titled A $75 Watch That Looks Like $1,000,000. I have to admit I find the statement of that title true, as this is one of the most beautiful Seiko 5s you can get. To me, it is the closest to being a true poor man's Grand Seiko, thanks to both the classical Grand Seiko styling with the Dauphine hands and thin, beveled stick markers. Both hands and markers are finished to a surprisingly high level, especially given the price, and they catch the light and shimmer as you move your wrist around. The dial is a positive surprise as well, as it's more complex than it might appear at first. It features a sunburst pattern on the inner part and vertical stripes on the outer. Just like the hands, it plays with the light and makes the watch even dressier. The logos are applied and all the printing is crisp and pretty much flawless. The case is one of the most interesting found in the Seiko 5 lineup in both shape and finish. It still measures the traditional 38mm in width, and with a modest lug-to-lug of only 45.5, it will look great on pretty much any wrist. The crown is also at the traditional 4 o'clock and tucked away to accentuate the efficiency of the magic lever winding system. I actually love that detail, as the lack of hand winding makes a larger crown unnecessary. Where the case of this watch differs is the thickness and shape, as this is one of the thinnest Seiko 5s out there at just 10.5mm. And unlike the more famous SNX model that has a very flat case, making it wear odd on the wrist, this one has a nice curvature that, combined with the shape of the lugs and the already mentioned thinness, makes this one of the best Seiko 5s when it comes to the way it wears and sits on the wrist. The case has a combination of polished and brushed finishes, making it look more expensive than it is. The top of the lugs and sides of the case are brushed, while the bezel and this large bevel of the case are all polished. It makes the case play with the light, and together with the shimmering markers in hands, the watch really does give out a Grand Seiko vibe. The level of the fit and finish is surprisingly good, and there are no blemishes or rough edges to be found on any part of the watch. The transitions between the finishes of the case are also pretty good and clean. The watch comes on one of the nicest Seiko 5 bracelets available, which still doesn't make it great. It is still made out of folded links with hollow end links and a stamped clasp, but it does wear comfortably and complements the watch nicely with its combination of polished and brushed surfaces. Hodinkee in their article called this bracelet terrible and a hair puller, but after wearing this for a couple of weeks, I'm starting to think they were trying to push their own leather straps by exaggerating a bit. The crystal is hardlex, and the watch comes with your basic splash resistance. Although I think you can freely swim with this watch, as I have used Seiko 5s with the same water resistance for swimming and snorkeling many times without any issues. The watch also features lume, but it's applied in such a small amount that it makes it barely usable in the dark. What I like is the fact the lume pips are on the outer edge of the hour markers, unlike the SNK-L41 version that has them on the inner ends. Outer application makes the watch face look more balanced. The movement powering the watch is the entry-level 7S26 that you can expect to serve you for years problem-free, although accuracy can be all over the place. Since this is a very basic movement, it lacks both hacking and hand winding, and the accuracy is affected by the level of the power reserve quite a bit. I think that is the main reason why many people who are used to higher-end movements find the 7S26 very poor in performance, as they wear it in combination with other watches in their collection, making the accuracy inconsistent. These watches are made to be worn all the time, and I find that the accuracy consistency improves when the watch's power reserve is topped up. But even like that, don't expect miracles. So all in all, I find this to be one of the best looking and most refined Seiko 5 watches you can buy. In fact, the classical beauty of the dial, markers and hands, combined with the curved, thin and nicely finished case, makes this one of the best executed dress watches under 40mm. The fact that it's made completely in-house by a brand that has been in this business for more than 130 years and still run by the founding family is just a bonus. I can guarantee there are going to be people in the comment section saying they would love the watch if it didn't have the 5 logo on the dial, as many find it tacky, while I personally love it. The 5 Shield represents a line of mechanical watches that has been in constant production for more than 55 years, and that is rarely seen in the world of horology. Not to mention, it was a Seiko 5 that was one of the first 3 automatic chronographs ever produced, next to a Heuer and Zenith El Primero. So everything on this watch, the design, the fit and finish, and even history, punches way above its price point. Well, everything except the bracelet. But that can be easily solved by purchasing a nice leather strap that will probably cost you as much, or maybe even more, than the watch itself. Well, that's it when it comes to this week's review, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until the next video, bye.